Thank you, Toby. I'll see you tomorrow at break time. Good evening, welcome. Can you imagine a challenge that's so huge, so difficult, that it seems completely impossible? Maybe you've even faced one yourself. Perhaps it's starting a new school. Perhaps it's moving to a new country. Maybe it's learning a new language. Today I'd like to share the story of one woman's journey and how she used her invisible powers to defy the odds and achieve the impossible. I'm talking to you this evening about the English Channel. Now this challenge is an iconic swim in the marathon swimming world, and it is swimming from England to France, or the other way. This body of water here is called the English Channel, and despite that there's a small section there from England to France. It's about 33 kilometres long in a straight line. Often though, it's a very unpredictable body of water. It's very cold, it's an extremely busy shipping lane, tides and strong currents, so you often will swim a lot longer than that. So this body of water remained unconquered until only about 150 years ago, when this man, in that really groovy seat there on the left, Captain Matthew Webb, in 1875, struck out from the shore of England, Dover, swimming breaststroke, and landed on the other side 21 hours and 45 minutes later. Can you imagine swimming for that long? He has got a rudimentary support boat with him there, and he was fueled by, listen to this, beef tea, brandy and beer. 21 hours, 45 minutes. And then that challenge remained, the channel remained unconquered again for another 36 years. Many men tried and failed. Many men turned up in France, in Dover, to try to defeat this challenge. And in the 1920s, imagine this as well, in the 1920s, it was really, there was quite a frenzy created by the media about this challenge. Men were arriving and they were nearly drowning and being pulled back to shore, and very few people had managed to achieve that feat that Captain Matthew Webb did back in 1875. Enter this woman here, Gertrude Erdley, and this is who I'd like to speak to you tonight about. The 1920s. Now the USA is a very different place to what it is now, and in particular for women. Women's position in society there, they were absolutely considered the weaker sex. There were huge restrictions, and when we think about sports and swimming in particular, they wouldn't have been swimming in the same pools as men. They were having to wear like fully clothed, basically. And the thought of a woman doing a challenge like that was utterly absurd, almost arrogant. How could you, as a woman, think you could achieve this where so many men had failed? But this lady had invisible powers. She had self-belief and she had determination. And she set herself the challenge that she was going to cross that channel. But she had been quite a sickly child. She'd suffered from measles. She went deaf or partially deaf when she was quite young, which got progressively worse as she went older. But despite these barriers, despite a father who told her that she should not be swimming and she needed to go out and find herself a husband, society telling her that she wasn't allowed to swim, she actually was an excellent swimmer. She went on to become a competitive swimmer, and she represented Team USA in the 1924 Olympics at the age of just 17. But even then, it was a bit of a sideshow, I think, women swimming there. It was a novelty, and the men were the main attraction there in the swimming pool, and the women, it was a bit of an afterthought, really, going there to represent her country. She said, I'm going to swim the English Channel, and at the age of 1926, she turned up on the shores of Calais and said, I'm going to swim the channel. The media interest, as you can imagine, it was quite a frenzy. People were like, again, this woman, how dare she? She's nothing, why should she be doing this when so many other men have failed? But there she was. She set off. And there's actually her swimsuit is quite revolutionary. She was one of the first women then to sort of pioneer these two-piece suits designed by her sister in order to sort of reduce chafing and rubbing. Her goggles were also at the time quite revolutionary there, covered herself in sort of fat and lanolin and so on to keep warm, and she set off. As you can imagine there, the channel though was not kind. It was not kind to her. The water was about 14 or 15 degrees, which is the lake in April. It was cold, there were waves, there were strong currents, stinging jellyfish. Why did she keep going? How did she keep going? Well, I like to think it's because she had invisible powers. Those powers of self-belief, determination, telling herself she wasn't going to quit. 14 hours, 39 minutes later, bruised and battered, but victorious, she arrived on the shores of England, having made it, the first woman to do so. And she beat the male record by 2 hours. And that record went on to stand for another 30 or so years. A remarkable achievement. She had made the impossible possible. And she really paved the way then for other women who went on to do the same thing. So why this subject? Well, I grew up in Dover. I'm a swimmer. My swimming club is actually just around here. And I did a lot of training when I was young. I had teammates who also then tried this challenge when they were young. Some succeeded, many failed. I grew out of love of swimming, I suppose, when I was younger, and life got in the way, and family and kids and so on. But then I came back to swimming. And last year I made the decision then to go for it, and go for this challenge as well. 40 kilometres a week or so of training. I felt like giving up a lot of the time. But Mrs. Street didn't let me because it's really expensive. So, I had to keep going. So there I am, with my family. This is 1 o'clock in the morning at Dover Harbour. Just getting ready to then be taken around out into the beach just around the corner to start. A 2:30 a.m. start, pitch black. You have to swim to shore. Can't see where you're going, just a small light from the boat. And it begins. The swim there begins, and you have a number of hours then in the dark. It was a tough day. It was a long day out, as you can imagine. Conditions, as for Gertrude Erdley, were not fantastic. It wasn't that calm. There was a lot of swell, wind, waves. And it was really hard work. You're not allowed to touch the boat. You have to just, every 30 minutes or so, you're taking a drink, and then you keep going. After about 5 hours, my arms were hurting quite a lot. But finally, and eventually, 100 years and almost a week or so to the day after Gertrude Erdley had stepped ashore, after having swum about 43 kilometres, I also managed to swim the channel, battered and bruised like a boxer. As you can see there, not looking my best. Very swollen, blue. And my kids saying, why are you blue, Dad? Just, yeah, the salt water, everything. It was an experience. And I became the 1,945th person to swim this channel. So, I suppose what's my takeaway for you here this evening? Gertrude Erdley's success there, yes, it was about physical endurance and having the mental resilience to be able to do that. But I also like to think as well, she battled, didn't she, the society telling women, you can't do this. There's not many men that can do this. You can't do this. She fought illness. She said later on in her life, I'm happiest when I'm in the waves. And I really like that. And she, I think, sort of found comfort in discomfort as well. And I'd like to finish by just saying that I believe that with invisible powers, we can all reach our destination. Invisible powers like self-belief, determination, we all have them inside us. And I think we can reach our destination, we can redefine what's possible if we harness our invisible powers. Thank you very much. Thank you.
through. That speech went swimmingly. Now we will have a short 20 intermission where you can help yourself to food and snacks and yeah, whatever from there.
There will also be an immersive experience from the Grade 10 Industry Art Voltaire collective, so please enjoy that as well.
Thank you.